You're not chasing them because they're special. You're chasing them because they're unavailable. And your brain can't tell the difference between rejection and chemistry. By the end of this video, you'll understand why unavailable people feel more attractive than available ones, the neurological trap that keeps you hooked, and how to break the cycle before it breaks you. It isn't about love, it's about addiction. You've been taught that attraction is about compatibility, chemistry, finding someone who matches you. But that's not how your brain actually works. Your brain doesn't choose people based on compatibility. It chooses based on dopamine. And nothing triggers dopamine like uncertainty. When someone is available, when they text back, show up, make you a priority, your brain reads that as safe, predictable, solved. But when someone is inconsistent, distant, emotionally unavailable, your brain sees a puzzle, a challenge, something to win, and that activates the reward system harder than actual connection ever could. The first mechanism, the validation gap. The first reason you can't stop thinking about them is they make you question your worth, and your brain will do anything to close that gap. Here's what happens. When someone is unavailable, distant, inconsistent, emotionally withdrawn, your brain reads it as rejection. Not conscious rejection, but your nervous system doesn't wait for clarity. It sees the pattern and starts asking, "Am I not enough?" Research published in Psychological Science shows that people with rejection sensitivity experience automatic defensive responses when faced with social threat, even before they consciously register it. Your brain interprets their unavailability as evidence that you lack value. And once that doubt enters, you become obsessed with proving it wrong. You're not chasing connection, you're chasing proof that you're worthy. Every text you send, every plan you make, every time you reach out, it's not about them. It's about getting the validation that would silence the voice saying you're not enough. Studies show that when self-worth feels threatened, people engage in compensatory behaviors to restore it, seeking reassurance, over-accommodating, even tolerating mistreatment. The person who's consistently there, your brain doesn't question your worth around them. But the person who's inconsistent and distant, your brain turns them into a test you have to pass. You mistake that desperate need for validation as desire, but it's not attraction. It's your self-esteem trying to survive. The second mechanism, the phantom bond. The second trap is you fall in love with who they could be, not who they are. Because they're not fully present, you fill in the gaps. You imagine what they could be, who they could become, how good it would feel if they finally chose you. And that fantasy is perfect. It's designed by you, for you. It's everything you want. The real person, the one who's inconsistent, emotionally unavailable, maybe even unkind, can't compete with the fantasy version you've built. So you keep chasing the idea, not the reality. A study in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that people rated potential partners as more attractive when they received incomplete or uncertain information about them. The less you actually know, the more perfect they become in your mind. You're not seeing them clearly, you're seeing your own desires reflected back. And here's the cruelest part. The moment they become fully available, the moment the mystery disappears and you see them as they actually are, the fantasy collapses. Suddenly, they're not interesting anymore. Because you were never attracted to the real person. You were attracted to the void they created and the story you wrote to fill it. If this is hitting close to home, hit subscribe. I break down the psychology behind why we do the things that hurt us. New videos every week. Now, here's where it gets personal. So why don't smart, self-aware people fall into this? Because your brain is wired to survive, not to be happy. Uncertainty feels like danger, and when your brain detects danger, it doesn't question, it locks on until the threat is resolved. The problem is an unavailable person is a threat that can never be resolved, so you stay locked. The person who's stable and available, your brain relaxes, no threat, no urgency. The person who's unpredictable and distant, your brain locks on, figure this out, solve this, win this. You mistake that hyper-focus for connection. You mistake the anxiety for chemistry. You mistake the obsession for love. But it's not love. It's your nervous system stuck in pursuit mode, chasing something it can't catch, because that's what keeps the dopamine flowing. Writer Kafka understood this better than most. Love is that you are the knife which I plunge into myself. That's what chasing unavailable people is, self-inflicted pain disguised as devotion. You're not a victim of bad luck or poor choices. You're addicted to the wound, because the wound feels like proof that it matters, that they matter, that if you just try harder, bleed more, wait longer, it'll finally mean something. But it won't. The knife doesn't care how many times you reach for it. Here's how you break the cycle. Stop asking, why don't they want me? Start asking, why do I want someone who doesn't want me? Because the answer isn't about them. It's about what you're avoiding by chasing someone unavailable. Real intimacy is vulnerable. It's steady. It doesn't give you the highs of the chase, but it also doesn't give you the lows of rejection. And if that sounds boring, that's the addiction talking. The right person won't make you question where you stand. They won't make you earn basic respect. They won't feel like a knife.
Unavailability isn't mystery. It's just unavailability. And chasing someone who doesn't want you isn't romantic. It's self-abandonment. If this changed how you see your patterns, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more psychology that cuts through the noise. And remember, chasing people who don't want you isn't love. It's a distraction from finding someone who does. See you in the next one.